I think we started, but it should probably be louder.
Well, isn't the computer thingy?
We'll figure it out because we'll see how it goes. And then on the next show, we might go louder.
Yeah, this is good for now.
Okay, let's cut it. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so I am Carol, and I'm Carol Salva, and this is Angelica. And we're having dinner. And so I told her that was fine not to stop eating dinner because we are going to chronicle our first year of trying to do some homeschooling. Not trying, right? We're doing homeschooling. And so we've done 1 week.
Yep. And
Successfully, I think successfully. Well, you're going to probably want to stop eating a little bit just so that you can talk a little bit, okay? Mm-hmm. So just to explain, I'm a school teacher, so I have taught elementary, and Angelica just finished 4th grade, and we're in Texas, and so Texas allows us to school from home, but we've never done that because it's just a lot, right? I mean, a lot of people, I think, want to homeschool, but it's just a lot. But this year, we had a particularly difficult year because we had 3 standardized tests, and we went into 4th grade needing a little more support. And we had great teachers, and it was we just didn't meet the requirements for the reading or the writing or the math. And it was weird because we're super smart. We're super smart, and we can read, and we can do math, and we can write. And so we thought, why don't we try a year at home instead of getting tutors for after school? If we're going to get tutors and do some personalized learning, we'll try to do it on our own. So we're going to try that this year. And so we've had 1 week where we've done that. The only crazy thing is there was a hurricane. We're still kind of in the middle of the aftermath of that. And so I guess we tell you that because I didn't have a chance to help Angelica with her learning this week.
And when she did, she was helping other people, which I did for a little bit.
She helped too. We've been volunteering all week. Well, right when school was supposed to start for us, we had this hurricane, and we had the aftermath still. We're still volunteering. I have a job. I work every other day in the district, and I also consult. And so we knew that Angelica was going to be taking ownership of her own learning. And so that's where we are right now, is we had a week where our goals for the week were reading every day, at least an hour, but whatever she wanted to read, and then she and her brother, who's upstairs, Nicholas and Angelica, just had a goal of explaining to me when I got home what they read about in any way that they wanted to. And so I was super impressed every day when I got home because I really put no parameters around how they would show me their learning. And so I think we can thank her teachers from 4th grade and 3rd grade and 2nd grade and 1st grade because she showed me some stuff that I know I didn't in any way teach her. So she's going to show you a little bit of that, and then we're going to show you what we're doing for science.
So I pull it up.
Okay, so go ahead and pull it up. That's the first thing, is that we did decide to buy them Chromebooks, Nick and Angelica.
And I'm getting a new case.
She does need a new case for that. So she's going to pull up what did you read this week, Jill? What was your choice?
Okay, so in one day I read like 1/3 of Big Nate, just because it wasn't really what I wanted to read. I didn't really like
it. The first day she didn't have books where we went to shelter from the storm, so she borrowed one of her brother's books, and so you read Big Nate?
Yeah, I read a little bit of it. It's just in those hours I got bored. I didn't really like the book. It wasn't like, oh, let me read this fast. I like it a lot. It was like, go, go, go. But then, excuse me.
It's okay.
I read Big Bad Kitty, which I really liked, and I read it all in like an hour and like 10 minutes because I was like, oh, the hour's not done. I have to add 10 minutes to the hour.
So you went past the time that I asked you to read.
Probably less than 10, but I did get to read a little bit
you
more.
went over. That's great. Find your learning. Okay,
It's right
so
here.
I want to say something about that real quick for any teachers out there or any parents who are working with their kiddos. I have a background with English language arts and literacy, and also in my background, I work to get kids up to grade level who maybe have never had schooling, and so that's the kind of work that I do outside the district. So one thing that I know that is very effective for almost every kiddo is free voluntary reading. And when I say very effective, of course, different things work for different purposes, but what I know is that we need to up our reading level, because the testing shows that we're not at a 5th grade reading level. And we know that the only thing, or we feel like the only thing that ups your reading level, and I'm quoting Stephen Krashen, who is a researcher, so you can Google that, free voluntary reading. And I think if you replay what she just said, I think that speaks for itself, because you had a book that wasn't your choice.
Yeah.
And when it was Big Nate, she read it because she had to read it.
Oh, you can't really see
Yeah, we'll screenshot this.
I only did one slide of it.
Of Big Nate?
Of Big Nate with my brother. So both did some. So he read one and I did one, and we did a compare and contrast. Which what my mom said it was okay.
It was good. It was really good. I mean, that's the thing that I was impressed with, is that she kind of like went through the motions of a book that she didn't really care about that first day. And she still put together a Venn diagram and they compared the genre, and you compared, we used some sentence frames that I gave her, which was, what did they say? One similarity is one difference.
Between this book and this book is that they both, one of them is they both are at school. So what's it called? The
setting.
Yeah, the setting, or there's a different one that I learned with. But okay, the setting of the main setting, of course I go to the house and stuff. The main setting is the school, and that's where everything happens mostly.
Okay. So they found a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. And so what I did was I just sort of directed the way that they were going to speak about it, just by using a language objective with them, which is, you can look up language objectives. That's basically, so they're not using just the 300 words maybe that they have in their vocabulary. You want to give kids more academic terms to talk about or talk with. And so if they told me they were going to compare the books, so I said, that's great, but you already know same and different. Let's use one similarity is, one key difference is, to kind of up that academic talk between the two kids. And so I was just so impressed, because I threw that on top of them deciding themselves that they wanted to do a Venn diagram.
Yeah, and then I repeated what she wrote, the sentence frames, with what I wrote. So
are you sure you can't see this somehow? I think they can see it if I do it like.
No, yeah, that's what I was testing before.
There. No, we need to learn how to float. You know who Nancy Motley, my friend, she figured out how to record her screen. And
oh, I know how to do that.
Do you?
Yeah, but it's only with my computer.
Okay, well, we can start doing our shows off your computer, because I'd rather you be the tech person. I don't want to have to learn how to do this stuff.
So I added an extension, and then, you just...
Okay, next show is going to be way better, because Angelica is going to do it. And so, okay, so let's stop real quick, because now we've already kind of going over time for this. Free voluntary reading, I was impressed with what they did with the book. She didn't care about that much. But the next day, when we went to the resale shop, books are 75 cents there. She gave her some quarters and told her just pick any book that you want. Yeah, any book you want. Because here's what my philosophy is that working with the kiddos that I work with is the critical thinking that we ask them to do about the reading. If they're struggling with the actual act of reading, you learn to read up to like second, third grade. And then after that, it's reading to learn. So unfortunately, some kiddos past third grade, if they're still struggling with phonemic awareness and sight words and those basics of reading, they can analyze. She's obviously a critical thinker, but you need more words. I know there's more to it than that. I know balanced literacy has way more to it than that. But if you want to go with what I do, which is the two biggest bang for your buck things, sight words, not flashcards, in print, in text that's meaningful, sight word recognition, and phonemic awareness. But they're going to get both of those. They're going to get both of those with more reading. And that's why I think Stephen Krashen is right, is you up your reading level by more reading, more words. You start to own those words, even if it's, you're just working on fluency with a lower level text. Rereading books you love that aren't a struggle is going to make harder text easier to read. So she went over the time. We were thinking an hour. Is an hour too long? Is an hour too long to read a book you love?
I went over it.
She went over it, of course, because that's what we're trying to do, is get kids hooked on reading, right? Because the math test that they have to take is a reading test. The science test that they have to take is a reading test. They're all reading tests. So I know we have critical thinkers, but we have to build their ability to actually read the text to where they're not struggling with that also. So bravo, Angelica. What do you want to say?
So my mom, before we were homeschooling, she was going over these things, like how it's going to go and the stuff we're going to do, which is some stuff is like really, really fun. Well, mostly all of it is really, really fun. And so another thing that she kept telling me is that the only way that a big way to learn more words is rereading the book, which is what I did on the third day. So I read one, the Big Notebook, which I didn't really like. The second one was the book that I really liked, which was The Bad Kitty, which I made more slides. I made one slide on that one. I made 4 slides on the other one.
That's the other thing too, is like, I didn't tell her any of this. That's why I have to give props to her teachers, because the second day I came home and she put together a PowerPoint presentation. And I was like, really? And it had multiple slides.
No, they didn't teach me.
Google Slides. Sorry, it was Google Slides.
But they didn't say they did tell me that I could, but I usually never did, just because they gave you books they gave you books. They chose the books.
Well, they have to, right? So
yeah,
the teachers want to show them in school how to do some of these things, but a lot of times you have to have one book that's required by your curriculum that you have to do this. So I think it's a balance of both, because I know your teachers give you free voluntary reading time, but maybe the project wasn't associated with the book that you liked. So
yeah,
I think it's cool that it's all kind of coming together. Will you go get that book so you can show it to us, and then you can show us what you did with it on day 4 or 5? I think we're gonna probably next time eat dinner and then do the podcast. Go get the book real quick so you can show it.
I'll try to find it.
Try to find it real quick.
Yeah, I think it's in my room.
Well, okay, never mind. Let's show the book tomorrow. Will you just show them what you did? We'll show next.
Do I show that?
That's science. Oh my God. That's gonna be like our closeout. But show this real quick. What I came home to
that's
today.
Close to that.
What I love is the choice. Student voice and student choice is huge, right? So I knew she would do well if she had a choice on how she showed her learning. And I'm just blown away today when I came home that she'd chosen something completely different to show me about her reading. Same book. I told her to reread it if she didn't mind, to build more fluency with it, and show us what you made today. Yay. We'll take a screenshot of that and show that as well next time when we float over our screen.
So that's the strategy that I used. I noticed that, and that I can infer.
Oh, this wasn't from your reading?
Yeah,
this was from our science. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're just listening, you won't get this. But if you're watching us, this was so great. A wonderful district that hired me to come, Galena Park ISD, Sherry and the great people at Galena Park ISD gave me this awesome water bottle, but it's an infused water bottle. So you put fruit in it, and after a little while, it starts tasting like the fruit. Well, Angelica did this the day of the hurricane, and she borrowed it, and she put some fruit in it, and then we had to evacuate our home, and we left, and
we had to evacuate this one.
We had to evacuate this house. And so this stayed hot in our house for like 5 days, right? And so if you look, if you're on YouTube, I feel so bad because my friends gave this to me. So I showed Angelica, instead of throwing this out, I said, would you make some observations? Take some pictures of this.
I was like, throw it away, Mommy, that's gross.
I know. You have to stop eating in the middle of the podcast from now on. I'm sorry that I told you that was okay. It's not going to be okay anymore. So, but poor thing, waiting for me to get home to eat. So anyway, I didn't want to throw it away because I don't know if any of you guys have ever done any of those experiments where it takes like a week to get stuff to grow if you put something out. And this already grew. All this mold grew in our home. So if you open it, can I open it? Oh
I didn't open it yet.
Really?
No.
Okay, let's look at this. So your observations, how did you know there was mold? Oh, you see the mold floating.
Yeah, and it's at the bottom too.
So basically I just told her, make some observations, take some pictures,
yeah,
and make some observations.
Yeah, that was the first one. I noticed that there was mold. I can infer that it's
I can infer. Who told you I can infer? Where'd you learn that?
School.
Right.
And because
this is the thing. We're not down on public education. We love it. And she's learned so much. And this week, I'm blown away by everything that she's learned that she's showing me. So she's using, I notice, I can infer that. So that's what I thought was so great.
Can I read it?
Okay, so what she noticed, I see this bottle, how gross it is. Oh, I feel so bad that it's gross. But I appreciate Galena Park for the gift, and it's contributing to Angelica's learning.
It says, I noticed that it smells bad. Well, the first one is, I noticed that it has mold. It's because it contains fruit.
I can infer it.
I can infer it's because it contains fruit, with the fruit went rotten. That's why.
Okay. And the next one
is that I can
read the whole sentence. Start from I
noticed that it smells bad because I can infer it's because it's rotten.
Okay, that's pretty great. So she's seeing an observation but making an inference. Go ahead.
I noticed that the color changed in the water. I can infer the fruit dyed the water. It dyed the water.
So yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, because I put the cherry in and the cherry dyed.
You dyed the fruit, the color, right? Okay, so we're gonna open it. Oh my God. Okay, let's see what happens. See, so we're going to mix in some math when we review this later. I just wanted you to make some notes so we could look at like elapsed time, how much time is,
and the reason that,
and the heat and the effects.
My mom didn't tell me to do this whole art project.
She didn't. She made it so beautiful because this is how she wants to show her learning.
And I liked doing it. I like doing crafts. So crafts mixed with learning equals fun.
So I guess at the end, I'm going to talk about how I'm going to tie this all together because I really don't know. That's why we're doing a YouTube channel, because we're trying to figure out how to hit all your grade level standards this year in a deep way. Okay. Do you want to open it? You open it. You open it, but you got to do it where the camera.
It sort of smells bad.
I know it smells bad. It's supposed to. It's rotten. Okay, Angelica, go ahead and let us see what you're doing.
Twisting the cap.
You're twisting the cap for podcast listeners.
Oh! Ew! Ew! What is that?
Okay, not so loud.
Disgusting.
Not so loud.
Is that? Oh.
You know what that is?
Kiwi. No, it's not kiwi.
No, that's mold, sweetheart.
I know, but like the fruit that it's on top.
That's.
Oh, it like build it up.
That's science.
Ew, Mom, that was disgusting.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is safe. I mean, our whole home. Well, let's get a fork and figure out if that's a piece of fruit or if that's something new that grew from fruit.
Okay.
No, we'll do it outside. I don't think all these mold spores need to be floating around our kitchen.
Okay. Well,
so take it out.
Outside though?
You can do it outside. Go take it outside.
Oh, are you gonna show it to the window?
Sure. No, I think we gotta wrap it up.
Okay.
You want to do it tomorrow for tomorrow's episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so for tomorrow's episode, we're going to dissect whatever this is inside. we hope he doesn't scream, "Stop stabbing me!" Whatever it is, right? We don't want it to run away. So we're about done. But here's the thing: is that I know at kind of a high level what all the standards are for reading and writing and science and math and social studies. All that information is out there, and we are going to be using a curriculum to follow. But these kinds of experiences are, to me, more valuable, more valuable than we need the curriculum, just like any teacher needs a guide, just to make sure we're hitting everything. But the way that we learn those standards are going to be directed by what she's most interested in, so long as we hit them all, right? Right? So we're figuring it out. We don't have it all figured out, but I'm impressed with week 1. We did money. We didn't even talk about how Angelica talked about how she was feeling really bad that she never got the coins down. She wasn't quite sure what was a nickel.
Yeah, they did. They always explained it.
So your teachers always explained it, but you didn't get it?
Yeah, but I never got it. I was like, I'm confused because they look the same. Except the copper one, which is the penny. In there.
Yeah, so you didn't have a problem with the penny, but the other coins, and I didn't know that. Like, I knew she was doing poorly in math, and we would sit down and look at math problems, but I didn't realize that it was the recognition of the actual coins that was throwing her off.
I'm still looking at that right now.
Yeah. You're still looking at the science thing. Anyway, we did some really cool things that we'll talk about later in this week, where I think you made some
shopping stuff. That could be another episode.
Yeah, that would be. We'll do math another episode. I don't think we're going to be doing an episode every day. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to week 1
dinner time
of Angelica Learns. And Mom's learning too, because we're figuring out how to do this. Okay. So I guess we'll see you next time. And we need some closeout music, don't we?
Yeah. Dun, dun.
She wants closeout music. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Thanks for tuning in. It's more for us to reflect than anything. You're going to be just fine.